Chat, how we doing? Let's get a 1 in the chat if we sound good. Let's get a 1 if we sound good. I don't know. I didn't test it again, so I'm kind of winging it. I should have tested it, but I didn't. You know what I mean? We might have to refresh. How we doing though? Let's get this going, man. We're not gonna be too. Oh my gosh, I got this thing on the screen. Okay, hold up one second. Hold on 1 second. Let me get that off the screen, so we can get this thing rolling, man. We got to dive into this one. I got some weird background music playing. Hopefully that's not copyright. You know what I mean? Shout out to the PlayStation. All right, we're about to get this going, man. A lot of things to react to. Definitely. How we doing? How we doing, chat? 10-1, baby. Now look, I'd be a little bit more excited. I know I'm pumped. I'd be a little bit more excited right now if the Packers or Vikings would have lost. I mean, we were live while the Bears got the onside kick. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they're going to beat the Vikings. And then they had maybe the worst three-play possession I've ever seen in my life. No, it wasn't that bad. It was bad, though. It was bad. It was depressing to watch that. It's like, this is terrible. Takes an awful sack. It's like, all right, this game's over. And then the Packers have just absolutely destroyed. They have just destroyed the 49ers. Which, man, I mean, look, it was, I thought they'd beat the Niners. But, man, this team is just not look right. They just don't look right. They don't look right with what they're missing. CMC does not look right. O-line's terrible. They had no Trent Williams. I mean, and that's the thing, too. It was like, okay, it was about Brock Purdy, right? You didn't have Brock Purdy. And then you come in without Nick Bosa. I don't think Trent Williams played either. I don't know. Actually, I don't even know. I don't think he played. I could be wrong on that. Regardless, this team's mess. They're probably not even going to make the playoffs at this point. I mean, I don't know. Unless that division kind of closes up a little bit. Arizona did lose today, so that division's just not that great at the top. But they're not in a good spot to make the playoffs. Unless they win the division, it does not look like at all they're getting a wild card. Though, I guess to that point, Washington did lose to Dallas today. Ridiculous. This may have been my worst week of picks of all time. Disaster. An absolute disaster. We got some clips that we're going to show from this game. I did not go back and rewatch the entire thing yet. I have notes from, during the game, but I have rewatched a lot of it. I don't want to rewatch the whole thing because I'm going to do that anyway during, the beginning of the week. It'll be a little short in this week, but I'm going to do that anyway. I didn't want to do that all today and then do it again. I'm just going to be bored as heck doing that. So we're not going to do that. 10 straight quarters without a touchdown. Okay, so it was 10 straight. That's fantastic. 10 straight quarters. And I wanted to throw on the screen what we had heard from Dan Campbell after the game. Some of these like little snips. And then we'll go to the plays. This week was drunk. This week was insane. I mean, the upset, it was like, hey, there were upsets, right? But every upset I was absolutely wrong on. Disaster of a week. This Washington game is ridiculous. But I did want to start with these, and then we'll go through some clips because a couple things stood out. That I didn't notice when watching it, alive. First off, one thing, I'll just say it now. Josh Pascal. Oh, my goodness. Josh Pascal may have been my player of the game. Immediately after the game, I was like, hey, who's your player of the game? It may have been Josh Pascal for me. That guy was outstanding. Josh Pascal was absolutely outstanding. Stroudport and Orlowski, did he run out of the end zone? See, I didn't know that happened. My mic is not even on. Okay, that's cool. That's, actually, should I do that?
I would highlight our defense first.
Check, can y'all hear this?
There again, this is, whatever it is, 10 quarters without allowing a touchdown. 3 last games in the second half, we're not allowing it. So, man, we are, we talk about all the time, limiting points, play physical style.
I feel like this is coming through the speaker. I don't think we got any updates here on injuries. He did talk on Tim Patrick, though. I didn't hear this one.
Ball player. He just does the right thing over and over and over again. And, yeah, he's a big body. He's got great hands. He catches the ball away from his body. So, in traffic, I trust him. I know I can throw it in there, and he's going to go grab it, and had a few good ones today.
You know what, man? And that's funny. Just a side note, like we were reacting to the interceptions from Goff earlier in the week because we were talking about the civilian thing, and we saw that interception from week 2 against the Bucs, which was probably the worst interception, maybe the worst interception Goff thrown. It was disgusting, but he basically just like threw it to nobody, and someone was like, "Hey, wasn't there a messed up route?" And it definitely could have been, but he did. I think he was trying to just throw it up to Tim Patrick, which, in fairness, he's had this trust in Patrick since week 2. I mean, look, if he was just trying to throw it to Tim Patrick there, terrible decision. Absolutely awful decision. But He trusts him. He trusts him. You know what I mean? It's like when you see like the JMO things, you're like, oh man, it was like beginning we were forcing it to him, but it's like, hey, they're trusting him. They're giving him an opportunity. I think this is going to bode well. So I think you can take a real positive out of it. I mean, if you want to, you don't have to, but you can. But no, Tim Patrick's been outstanding. You know, we looked at the numbers on Bleacher Report. I should have pulled the stats, actually. I have them, but I think Josh was averaging like 36 to 38 yards, somewhere in that range last season per game. Tim Patrick came in this game averaging like 22 per game, 1.6 receptions per game. Today he had 50 yards receiving, so he went over the average what Josh Reynolds was averaging. I'm telling you, man, he's like working his way towards being on that pace. And this was a guy that we scooped before the season when, you know, we're all kind of sitting there like, hey, who's this guy going to be for the Lions? You know, who's going to replace this guy? And here we are. Oh, also, BetUS, man. Shout out to BetUS. YouTube 150. That's the code. 150% deposit match first deposit. 125% your next 2 deposits with that sign-up bonus up to $2,000, man. Shout out to BetUS. All right, let's dive into some of these plays because some of these things, I think when you see them, there's other things that you could point out. Now, I have to avoid copyright because it's not all 22, so bear with me. Okay, bear with me on these. I got to be very careful with what I actually show on the screen. But as long as I can kind of show what I'm seeing or like what was one thing that kind of popped out to me when watching it back, that works. You know what I mean? So just bear with me as we kind of go through these, okay? And I'm going to show some good, show some bad. Just show some things that I didn't notice when watching it live that I did notice when watching it back. We'll start on the defensive side of the ball. So that first drive for Indianapolis was fantastic. I hope our guys are okay. I missed that. Donnie, what's up, Donnie? I see you. I hope so, too. I know they were showing on the bottom. Taylor Decker did return, though. I thought. Unless maybe he just said it and it was a lie. But then it said on the bottom of the screen later, Taylor Decker did not return. I was like, I thought he did. So I don't know about that one. And then Monty did not return. I don't think Monty did return. I think it was just Craig and then Jameer Gibbs. And then Carlton Davis. Carlton didn't return. Yeah, so there's a lot going on. I don't know, man. It's a short week, too. Hoping for Decker. That's the big one for me. Hoping for Decker. Decker came back in. Okay. I'm hoping for Decker, and then, you know, a cornerback. I'm hoping that Terrion's in a spot where he can actually play Thursday. I'm honestly, like, I'm pretty optimistic. Usually you're not Sunday to Thursday, but it sounded like, you know, during the weekend that he was going to play, and then he did it. So I'm pretty optimistic Terrion's going to find a way to get on the field. But yeah, next man up, McNeil was bulldozer. McNeil was good. McNeil was really good. But I'll tell you what, man. I'm just going to be honest. As good as McNeil was, because McNeil, I mean, here's the thing, too. In fairness, there's expectations with McNeil. Not there's not for other guys, but McNeil's expectations are super high, like at least for me. Like I expect that dude to just eat, and he did, which he normally does. But also, Josh Paschal was like everywhere. And I would say this, the discipline that Josh Paschal brought to today's game, he was on our players to watch this morning. The discipline that Josh Paschal played was incredible. Because like we know going into these games, like mobility of quarterbacks, edge rushers got to be disciplined. Josh Paschal was fantastic in that area in this game. You know, he had timely plays, drew a really timely holding for us, did a really nice job against the run on the edge. Josh was fantastic. Aleem was fantastic. DJ Reader, rewatch initially from what I've got through so far, man, looked good. Looked really good. You know, he doesn't show up on the stat sheet much, but he also popped us a little bit as a pass rusher too today, you know, which has been a couple weeks since he even found his way on any kind of stat sheet for just getting pressure. I mean, hey, just a few pressures, like he popped up there. And they say imperfect wins counts. You know, I was sitting there just like watching these other division teams win. You're just like, bro, I wish these counted as more than one win. You know, we're out here smacking teams and they don't. But yeah, here, so we get the speed option. And this was the thing with Indy, man. They came in, they were diverse offensively. What's up, Silent Service? We had a blitz here, so this did us dirty. All right, couple things. You see, they would like put the tight end in the slot. We'd put our linebacker over it. In this case, we blitzed Malcolm off the edge, so we slant in Paschal, which I thought we'd see the slot blitzing. I didn't love the idea of stacking line of scrimmage. I think that got us into trouble. We saw Richardson take off for a pretty big gain. In this case, we also had 2 deep safeties, so they ended up getting out pretty wide here. I'm going to play it a little bit. They ended up getting out pretty wide here, picked up a nice gain. Campbell made a nice tackle, but they ended up getting out pretty wide there, picked up a nice gain. And that was kind of how their first drive went with some of that stuff. And then I'll show you one of the run stuffs that we had, which was actually the very next play for us defensively. And I think this is the first play where you're going to notice Josh Paschal, I think. Yeah, Josh Paschal. So I had it as a dual run. Malcolm Rodriguez also got the stop. Now, Malcolm, you know, a little bit up and down. just being on top of things. But for the most part, like Malcolm actually created some real negatives for us today. David Long attempted to. So, he gave us some key negatives. And I think the thing is with Malcolm to keep an eye on as well is I love him on the line of scrimmage. Like in this Sam role, like putting him on the line. I love watching Malcolm Rodriguez in this role. I think it's a great fit for him. And I think he can bring real value there. And you see Josh Paschal here, working on the right tackle, Braden Smith, their backup right tackle, and then Malcolm Rodriguez, like, handling the edge against some of their tight ends. Like, you see the penetration. Look at this. Paschal, at this point, has now moved the offensive tackle back a full yard. He, at this point, has now dropped dude back 1 yard on the play. Okay? That's where we're at right now. So he's just living behind the line of scrimmage, as we say, right? It's fantastic. And then Malcolm Rodriguez, Campbell steps down. Malcolm Rodriguez handles the tight end. Everybody gets in on this play. It's a great run stop. Paschal, best game of his career by far. That's what it felt like. I mean, this dude was everywhere, and he was playing so disciplined too. It wasn't you didn't find him like, oh, he's out of place, or oh, he crashed there, and then here goes the quarterback around him. Like, he was on top of it, and he was so timely. What up, Hungry Panda? He was so timely today. It was awesome to watch. All right, what do we have next? We have third down. Okay, couple things, man. So I think a couple different tendencies maybe expected. Second half, I thought it kind of reverted back to expectation a little bit. Like Indianapolis came out, a lot of Tampa 2 stuff. Second half, thought they reverted back to cover 3 a little bit. But for us, we've talked about this a lot. And in this case, it was after the flag. And we talked about how, and this was good coverage. Like they ran the ball down there, but it was the Lions coverage that got him off the field, to be honest with you. And actually, the play before, I should have put it on here. Josh Paschal set the edge, spilled the quarterback. But we also would have been there regardless because Kirby also dove down on Anthony Richardson, took him away. So both of them would have been there. But Josh Paschal also set the edge. And even if Kirby doesn't dive, he doesn't have anywhere to go with the football. He throws it away. So it was great the play before. And this play right here, man, like this is what the Lions have been all season long, right? I mean, go back to last year. They've been fantastic in the red zone. Teams are not scoring touchdowns. When you get inside the 20, it's hard to pass against this team. Look at the safety/cornerback play here. Like, that's what stands out because they're showing, and I'll show a couple different ones. They're showing a lot of wrinkles. You don't know who's manned up on who. Here they go like to a cover 0 look, so they end up manning up Kirby. You could see him reacting to the motion on downs, man. And then they end up dropping out guys like Ali McNeil. They drop out their DTs. They blitz the linebackers, and everything's kind of clouded up right here. So they're able to do things like this. Go like these 0 coverage looks, take away the middle of the field. There's nowhere for Richardson to go. He throws it away, Carlton Davis. That's something that we've seen all year. I'm going to show you a couple different examples of that. But I think it's beyond just like, hey, we're showing this coverage, and then we go to this. As a whole, it's more so like, hey, our safety's showing he's going to play here, but he's actually going to jump to here. And it's just those like slight little wrinkles that throws off like the leverage of the play. And I think that's what the Lions have right now. Now, this was a play that was brought up live, and this was a bad sack. This was ugly as heck. But this was brought up live. Red zone defense played out of their minds. It's been crazy. Anakin, it's been crazy. It really has been fantastic. But this was a play that was brought up live. Like they were like, St. Brown's wide open. I didn't even notice it when watching it live. About time Josh shows who he really is. Facts. And I think honestly going forward, these are going to be the Josh Paschal games. Like this could be the game like when we go into it, we're like, all right, heavy run team, quarterback gets involved in the run game. And we may start going into these games going forward like Paschal's actually going to be really good. Because we were talking pregame, I put him on the players to watch because I thought he'd be in the mix a lot. And he was great. But he's not really like the athlete where you're thinking like, oh, in space, he's going to dodge some split blocks. You don't really think of him like that. For him, it's like effort, and he has to be controlled. And I think we're getting to that point now with Paschal, like the discipline in his game and how fast he's actually playing right now, where it's like we may come into games like this, these unique opponents, to say Paschal's going to eat. Because Paschal's more disciplined. He gives ridiculous effort all the time. He's going to play way faster than we saw when he was a rookie. He's going to be on top of everything, and he's going to take these things away. But people are saying St. Brown was open here. Now, I just point this out, why St. Brown was open. The linebacker play being very crafty. They were going like these Tampa 2 looks a lot in the first half. And the Lions, I loved it. They were going really heavy with their levels concept, so they were like really overloading the middle of the field, which was great. And we started to see that. We all saw that in the second half just by the checkdowns. But like here with Goff, right, they sit down. They're going to sit down Brock Wright, but then they use the motion for Laporta. So Laporta's going to run. I don't know what he runs on this play. Laporta runs like a in-breaking route. I don't know what Saint runs. I'm assuming he runs the in-breaking route as well. And then you run this like quick hitch. But having 3 levels is going to overload it, which is why St. Brown would get open. But I think on paper, you're expecting that, hey, St. Brown has now opened up their linebacker, Franklin. Franklin's going to carry St., which is going to open up the tight end over the middle of the field if Brock Wright's not there, right? If this piece right here steps down on Brock Wright, I hit Laporta. So you kind of have like a 1-2. The issue is if you watch Franklin here, watch what he does. He carries it for a second, and then as Goff comes back to hold the check down, doesn't like it. Now he wants to hit that dig. It's hard to see it, but he actually dropped off the route. Hopefully it cuts in. He actually dropped off the route, and he stepped right in front of Laporta. So now the option would have been to try to come all the way back over top to St. Brown, because I'm assuming he's also running an in-break route. That'd be my assumption, though there's still this piece in between, and you'd have to play the in-between game. But then with the pressure on top of it right here, he gets out of the pocket, and you end up getting a sack. So that was just a good job by the backer, and I thought they had a little bit of that. There was a little bit of that gamesmanship. You're like, all right. A gamesmanship, step of a left tackle, skipper is most. Hey, he made one play, all right? He played one play. Wait, did he play more than one? He played one play at left tackle, Hungry. Don't do him like that. Come on, man. This is a positive energy. You know what I mean? What are we talking about? Okay, defensively. Let me go back here. That's the wrong side of the ball. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so, okay, I had cover one robber. I just bring this up because I love this. I thought coming into this one, robber would be great because, Michael Pittman, middle of the field, they love this. I was saying this in a Bleacher Report thread, and it kind of hit me. Like, how many plays did we watch them just gash us over the middle of the field? Not many, right? It was pretty rare that they gashed us. Now, I got us on the sideline a few times, but it was pretty rare that they actually gashed us on the over the middle of the field. Safety play, linebacker play, getting depth. Jack Campbell was literally everywhere. Jack Campbell also could be player of the game. He was everywhere in coverage. But like this, right, you go cover one, you'll see Brandt step down. He actually steps down right here in front of the, I think he steps in front of the dig right there, yeah. I think he steps here, and then Vildor just kind of, I don't know what this was, to be honest. He had a free safety over top, but he kind of like went underneath it, and then that's why it got open late. Also, big boy DJ Reader. Is that DJ Reader? Look at Reader, man. Oh, no, wait, who is this? Yeah, that's DJ Reader. That's DJ Reader. And that's on Quentin Nelson. You know what I mean? That's on Quentin Nelson. No. Okay, DJ. Hey, I'm telling you, DJ Reader. Yo, DJ Reader this might have been the game he needed to start cooking as a passer. I don't know what Vildor was doing here. Can we get some corners? I don't think we will. I mean, we might find something for depth, depending on how these injuries are. Again, I'm assuming Terrion's going to be back soon. I think he might play Thursday. I'm kind of confident he's going to play Thursday. I don't know on the Carlton thing, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Mosley is back. By the way, I didn't put it in here. He didn't play on defense, but did y'all notice Mosley make that big stop on special teams? I didn't even know he was playing at all, but he made a play on special teams, and I kind of overlook special teams a lot, but like a lot of our newer additions were really popping on special teams today. I mean, obviously Saint had to go to punt returner, but Ezekiel Turner made a stop on special teams. Pat O'Connor made a stop on special teams. Emmanuel Mosley made a stop on special teams. So he was getting in the action. He was getting reps. He just wasn't playing defensively. So I'd keep an eye on that too. With a little bit more time, they might give him looks too. All right, where are we at? All right, this was, where are we at here? Oh yeah, this was Zadarius Smith. I gave Zadarius Smith some love. Zadarius setting the edge against some tight ends here. Carlton also stepped down and kind of handled this, so shout out to Carlton, because Carlton got in, handled the pulling blocker. But I like Zadarius here, man. This is one of the plays that popped to me early in the game from Zadarius, like working over the tight ends, setting a strong edge. You see him right here. Is that Mo Alley Cox? He's just driving him back, and then gets over top of it. Lions flow the ball. Levi's effort. Levi's been great in that sense. That was a cool play. You know what I mean? Ogletree up the side a lot. And on that drop, like Branch was right behind him. I think they were in a quarters look there. He should have dove on the football, man. He should have been a little bit quicker to it. And he did dive on. He raked at his hands, but he probably should have been a little bit quicker. He was he was too patient, letting that thing just settle down. You had a guy in the zone for it. It wasn't like we broke down. He was standing in front of him. Should have broken that probably a little bit faster, but yeah, he did drop that. Now, we also gave up a touchdown that I'll show in here offensively. And you may remember what I'm talking about. You may not. I'm going to show it. But we also did give up a touchdown in this game as well. We ended up getting stopped and getting stopped on fourth down on that possession. I'll show that a little bit later. Hey, guys, little wrinkle. I didn't notice either. Sione Vaki's at receiver here. But he missed the block. I was pumped. I was watching it back. I'm like, oh, Vaki's in the game. Vaki, what is this? Vaki, no, bro. And by the way, I love it. I like the stretch runs. We talked about that coming in. I like the stretch runs. I like going at these edge rushers. They're going to get some negatives. They got good interior pieces. But I loved it. But Vaki, what is this? Bro, it made me hype. And then I realized, oh, man, he's the guy. He's the guy that missed the block. Man, that was unfortunate to see. I like seeing him out there, though. Put him at receiver, let him block a little bit. Okay. That's probably not the best way to keep him on the field, though. I'll be honest with you. That's probably not the best look. Probably not the best impression here. What else do we got? Okay, offensively. Oh, did I not start anything? Okay, hold up. I'm gonna have to kind of figure it out as we go. What I'm trying to showcase here. This was just amazing. I mean, we've seen the Lions do this, but they've done this twice, chat. They did this twice in the same game, and I think both their touchdown drives literally featured this. 3rd down and 8, 3rd down and 6, the Lions ran the football. Now, we've seen it, right? 3rd and medium, come out in the gun, hand it off, bam. You know, they stacked the line. All right, we'll pull some linemen. Actually, Indy hit us with that. Indy hit us with that in this game, right? Where we stacked the line of scrimmage on was it 3rd and 1? It was earlier in the game, but they stacked the line of scrimmage, bam. They sealed us down, pulled 2 off it, bam, huge run play. We didn't have the bodies there because everybody was showing gaps, so no one could scrape over top, which we warned about in the pregame show or the preview on Saturday. But like the Lions on 3rd and 8 here, you know, I'm going back like Lions ran like they ran a straight duo run. They ran a duo run on 3rd and 8. And I'm watching Indy, and they're playing like straight up for the pass. I mean, personnel-wise, they're playing for the pass. And you get a great double team here. I mean, they drive everybody back here. I mean, they're playing the pass straight up. Lions ran a dang duo run on 3rd down and 8 out of single back. It's like, what are we doing? What is Indy doing? To be fair to Indy, I don't know what the heck Indy's doing there. Like, you got to be like, wait a minute. They're in single back. This is probably a little weird. I mean, I guess 4-down territory, that kind of thing. And that may have been their thinking regardless. But I don't know how they just let that happen. I don't know what they were thinking there. All right, this is one that I love. Chat, you're going to love this. Watch this. Watch this, bro. This is what I'm talking about with the safeties. Okay, I'm going to make an assumption here because I can't see the full field. But they have 2 tight ends in line, and we have linebacker on the line of scrimmage. We have cornerback. My assumption here is that we're showing single high safety. Kirby is sitting in the middle of the field right now. My assumption, Kirby's sitting middle of the field. Here's where the wrinkle comes in, though. Because on the snap, Brian Branch, it looks like he's manned up. We're going to blitz the edge, or maybe the edge has the back. On the snap, Brian Branch drops out to a safety position. Lions go 2-man coverage, so they split the field. So now when they snap this, Anthony Richardson, it looks like cover 1, single high safety, boom, hit the shot out wide. On the snap, we split the safeties. He takes a shot. Kirby almost comes up with a pick because of it. Watch this. Watch Branch on the snap. Gone. He's out of there. He's in 2-man right now. Linebacker picks up the tight end. Now all of a sudden we're in 2-man coverage. Reader runs over to lineman again because that's just, unfortunately, that's been an issue with Dalton in the game. So now he's seeing, I say, take my shot. You know what I mean? Richardson, I'm taking the shot. He about threw a pick because of that. I love that, bro. That's so cool that we do that stuff. And it wasn't like an overly because if we started doing too much, I feel like we would have played too slow. But that was just like a nice mini wrinkle. Like, let's just do this, then go like that. And all of a sudden, he almost threw a pick. So it was changing the picture, but not doing too much. I wasn't sure what that would look like. I love the idea of changing the picture, but I was like, I don't think just disguising coverage is going to be great against Richardson because I think he makes a lot of decisions before he snaps the football. You know what I mean? I don't think he's working through multiple. I think he's going 1-2 and he's throwing the football. So it's like, how can you disguise it, but also not put yourself out of position by just disguising to a tendency? That doesn't make any sense. And I think that kind of thing was great. Because hey, tendency, cover 1, bam. No, it's 2-man. You're like, wait a minute. And then he throws it anyway. It's fantastic. This little thing, Lions have been doing this for weeks now, but we saw in this game the amount of eye candy the Lions stressed with Indy. Jets, end arounds, a lot of eye candy. Short motions, just like this. They use short motion pre-snap with Saint. Linebackers all focus over there. We get them to pause. There's a snap, bam, and we're off to the races. Now you get a great double team right here. I mean, we are driving. I think is that Stewart? May have been Stewart out of the play. I think that was Stewart there. We drove him out of the play. Now this is the gamesmanship. Give credit to the backer, man, because Franklin, they were playing quarters here. And this was a nice spin out of the sack. We ended up not losing anything. This was right before half. But he kind of drops out. He's showing like it's Tampa 2. But he ends up right here dropping back down. He ended up actually driving back to Gibbs. Graham Glasgow lost a block here. So blown block there. This is good. I mean, I'm surprised he spun out of this. Kind of stayed awake on the play. Shout out to Decker here handling Latu. By the way, hey, I didn't really notice much from their edge defenders. I mean, I think we did a really good job of kind of not putting them in a lot of bad positions. You know, we kind of limited that. But you didn't really feel the presence of... I mean, you felt that more against the run than in the pass game of Latu and Kwity Paye. You didn't really feel it. And then in the second half, we're seeing okay, boom. They're doing all this movement pre-snap, that kind of thing. Watch this. And to be honest with you, I thought at first, I was like, did the Lions steal this from Houston? I don't want to say steal it from, but Houston ran this. You remember Houston's first touchdown? Where they had Mixon out wide and they motioned him in pre-snap. And on the snap, it was like, here comes Mixon. And he got like the touch pass and he scored a touchdown. And everybody was late because he was just kind of walking in. And everybody's like, all right, he's just going to go right next to the quarterback. Well, here, Gibbs kind of just walking in and then we snap it. Now, the difference was we didn't run the jet with it. But look at everybody's eyes. Nobody's watching. It's 3rd and 7. Everybody's adjusting in coverage. You got a 4-by-1 look here. You got a bunch. You're thinking Gibbs coming to the backfield. Look at everybody adjusting. Nobody's paying attention. So everybody's late. Everybody's late to get over here to Gibbs. There's a good cut block. And all of a sudden, bam. St. Brown can get up there, seal the block. Shout out to our receivers. And Gibbs made it happen. But those are like the little wrinkles that I thought Ben was doing a really good job. Really good job of in this game. He had a lot of little wrinkles for this team. And honestly, I don't know what this play was. Let me see what this was. I don't remember. Oh, the check down. Yeah, linebacker. Watch their linebackers, man. It's hard. You can't really see everything here, but the linebackers are bailing. I mean, they were bailing. And look, maybe other teams know, hey, middle of the field. And we tried to, when the linebackers didn't all bail, they went cover 3, and we tried to hit J-Mo, and it kind of like went off his hands. But he probably should have made that catch. Safety dove on it. But like in a lot of these cover 3 looks, like, bro, their linebackers were out of there. Look at their linebacker. They're gone. There's the run fake. We pushed it vertical. We were attacking that second level, and they were just gone. And Goff's like, all right, cool. I mean, and that wasn't the biggest one. The play before, we did the exact same thing, so it was great. And then offensively, one of my favorite throws of the game. I think they were in. I think they were in 3 match here. I think they were matching us from a cover 3 look because you got your flat defender. And by the way, I didn't really have the plays to show this, but a lot of 12 personnel, even some 13 personnel, a lot of 2 tight ends. The Lions did it. We talk about coming in, like, I think they might run a lot of 2 tight ends. It was actually one of the main notes that we hit on in the preview, and that was because you could get Kenny Moore out wide with Saint. And in this game, the Lions did a lot of that. A lot of 2 tight ends, some 3 tight ends. Heck, they had Vaki at receiver. They did 21 there. They were running some heavy personnel. But this play was one of my favorite reads by Goff. 3rd and 4, looks like they're matching this up in coverage. And you're going to see that because if you see right here with Kenny Moore, who's that flat defender, right, the middle field, at least the way we did it, middle field linebackers, they wouldn't match coverage vertical. So here he's going to pass to the free safety, but it also then takes the slot corner out of the play, but he doesn't have leverage. So he's going to drift out of there. Now you would have J-Mo open potentially here, but as he sits down on this stick route, you come back, and this was one of my favorite reads, man. Right in front of the safety, just bam, on time. And you couldn't see it here, but as soon as Patrick made that break, he was immediately like, I'm open. He felt it, but Goff was honestly as fast as Tim Patrick was to feel that. And then this was the play that we left a touchdown. So someone brought up a touchdown that, they left out there by dropping it. This was our touchdown. I don't know if he scores, but I think he had a chance. I love it. The play design was fantastic, and then we just leave the touchdown. Watch this, Jack. So we run the jet again, and we end up peeling the corner. So they go cover 3. Like I said, they kind of reverted back to cover 3 heavy in the second half. First half was like a lot of Tampa 2. Second half was like cover 3. Well, this outside corner, we peel him out of the play, right? You're gonna show the run. It's 2nd and 2. You're gonna have Laporta block. Now St. Brown, here he is on this jet fake. He's actually gonna show like, okay, maybe he split zone blocking, maybe something like that, and then he's gonna race up. Now when he races up, it takes the outside corner. So now when you delay it with the run fake the opposite direction, Goff then boots out of it. Here we go. Now the chip flat, he's wide open. Goff misses the throw high, trying to get over the defender, and he missed that throw. That was our touchdown we left out there. He had all kinds of room. And then this was this was the one play we gained a yard. Then we went for it on 4th down. We didn't get the first down because we tried to counter pull and they jumped it. But this play was the setup. And I'm not trying to just point out the result. I'm also trying to point out like the setup, because I think when you see the things, you're like, okay, they're figuring it out. And I say that because like our preview, so there's certain things that I'll see, I'm like, oh, I think they could go to that. And then I see them like, oh, they're having good answers for what they're doing. This to me, what made a lot of sense. Like we talk about coming in like man coverage, 3rd down, especially 3rd and 2. That's a heavy cover 1 spot for him. I think it was cover 1, cover 3. And here, we know that bunch stacks are going to man lock. So they're going to work over top of everything, right? They're not going to switch these off. So you see cornerback Laporta, they're not working. They're not split. They're not passing this off. So you have an opportunity to stack, rub, and hit the out route with Laporta. So it was a great play design. The play design made a ton of sense here. And you end up rubbing it. Pause on that. Hold up. But you had Laporta. Goff doesn't like it here, but the design was there. The issue became this. Typically, you would have St. Brown as kind of that second read, but with the blown block here this time from Sewell, Goff has to step up out of that. Now he doesn't find Saint, and he takes off for a yard, and then we end up not getting on 4th down. I mean, we still got it on 4th down. It was, but whatever. But anyways, the play design was there. The play design was there, and yeah, Goff was running a lot. So that was fun to see. Hey, Goff taking off like that. I forgot about the Tim Patrick play at the beginning, and I'm watching. I'm like, oh snap! there goes Goff. Goff running again. He's making things happen, man. He's making things happen. I think he's adding a big element to our offense that if you're not going to blitz him and you're going to give him a gap to get out, and even in this game, like sometimes it was just avoiding a sack. The other time it was literally taking a sack because he fell down and turned around. But I'll live with that. You know what I mean? Because he's not going to. I'll live with him taking a sack if every once in a while he's going to spin out of it and make a play. Like it adds a huge element to our offense that we never really have. We never really have that. So let me, what do we have? I love the play calling from Ben. I love the creativity there. I mean, obviously defensively we were fantastic again. Josh Paschal, probably my favorite player on rewatch to this point. McNeil was great. I thought DJ Reader showed up. DJ Reader was awesome in this game. We got some of the linebackers to work in a little bit here. Carlton Davis did really well when he was targeted up until he went out of the game. The safety play, pretty good. I thought Branch, here and there a little bit, but I like the flexibility. That's really opened up. Kirby continued. You know what you're getting out of Kirby, which is great. And then offensively speaking, the running backs were playing at such a high level. It was incredible the level that they were playing at, right? The play calling was great. The stretch plays, the sweep plays, the goal line, we run a jet motion, we sweep it out, we score a touchdown with Gibbs. Like the play calling was great, but the running backs were playing at a super high level. I thought Gibbs was playing very fast in this game, and for the most part, he looked really good from initial rewatch. Like Gibbs looked like he was, he's been like this the last couple weeks, where it's looked like there's like a lot of opportunities to break even more plays than he actually is. That dude, 90 yards in this game. He's looking super dangerous right now. And we're seeing Gibbs, the expansion is, it's red zone, right? The expansion is that he can get the ball kind of in any situation versus, just being kind of like the rotation with Monty, and then Monty's the big down. But, like, Monty's not just a 3rd and 1 back anymore. I mean, he is, like, if it's sometimes, but it also can be Jameer, especially goal line, specifically goal line. They trust Jameer in those spots. And I'm going to show the play on the Lions X page because I didn't save it. But there was a play on X here of the Jameer Gibbs touchdown. Oh, the Lions already posted the picture of Aaron Glenn. That's great. The play of the Jameer Gibbs touchdown right here, man. This thing is ridiculous. This was like what he did against Jacksonville. This was kind of the same play that he did against Jacksonville last week. This is what I'm saying. This is really just becoming a common theme. Like when you're watching this and you see, okay, here we go. Womack has it. He's got the angle on him. And right here, when he bounces this thing, watch how fast he does. Like you're thinking there's an angle here. Watch how fast he hits the gas. It's ridiculous. It makes me, it's like me running. If you ever see me run, I look like Jameer Gibbs like this. That's the only comparison, to be honest with you. But look at this. No, for real. That's ridiculous. He turned a corner like that on it. Bam. Angle's gone. I'm scoring a touchdown. And we've seen like examples of that. I think Tennessee had a huge run that was very similar. It was like, man, the safety was kind of there, and then he wasn't. And then Jacksonville, he did this twice in those goal line spots, and now Gibbs is adding that. Gibbs is not, I would still take, if I need a yard, I'm giving it to Monty. No doubt. But Gibbs as a goal line back, like inside the 5, inside the 10, it's becoming real tasty. It's becoming real tasty because as long as we sustain blocks, the gap doesn't need to be there. Like Monty's going to play through the gap. He's going to bounce, bam, bam. If we just sustain blocks, Gibbs will take an edge like that. And he's got the slither to him where he can kind of crease through guys. So it's like here, as long as everybody sustains their block, and you can see it with Sewell, you can see it with Frank, and they just stay latched, and you get them with a D beat, like this stuff is just insane. That stuff is insane. It's insane, bro. Hope the secondary heals up quick. Absolutely. The first time in his career, Branch was a dud. Man, first time in his career. That's accurate as heck, bro. Branch is insane. Penei. Yeah, Penei is just ridiculous, man. Penei's I didn't even notice that he put his hands up in the air. And then we get taunting for that. What are we talking about? Did you guys see the Inside the Den thing? We watched that Saturday. Shout out to Michael Banks. He was on there. Fire. We watched that Saturday, and they were showing like Penei Sewell to the running backs. And they're like, look at this guy. They're like, man, what the heck? He like pushed him into the end zone. The guy's a freaky athlete. Like, no doubt. Penei Sewell's built different for sure. But no, I think this game was a really good step for a lot of guys, man. I think for linebacker play, it felt a little bit hit and miss, to be honest with you. I thought Jack was really good, so it's good for him to take on that big role because he's going to have to for weeks now. I like that Malcolm can kind of play everywhere. I think putting him on the line is really fun, and I think he actually really thrives in that role. Like there was a play I didn't show. They end up getting a big play. You guys know that play that they boot out, they throw it, Branch, he tries to lay like this big hit, and he still makes the grab, kind of bounces off it, big play. On that play underneath, Malcolm Rodriguez like raced and took the flat away completely. Like there was no outlet for the quarterback, and that allowed Jack Campbell to then go to the second level. Now they were playing cover 4, so that's why Brian Branch was in that spot, and he had to make the play, not the linebacker. But it was still great to see Malcolm get out there and take away the flat, because that's a lot of grass to cover, because he raced and took that thing away. I love Malcolm in that role. I think it's a great role for him. And it's just the flexibility that he has to do that, which helps us out a lot. And we're getting these young guys involved a little bit. Turner, David Long got some snaps. So it's great, man. We're trying in the right direction, I think, in a lot of ways, while we're trying to replace guys and, find new guys that can step in. And like I think we opened this with, like, Josh Pascal to me he's taking off, man. Josh Pascal's taking off. And I hope this was like a really just kind of the beginning for what DJ Reader is going to be, especially as a pass rusher here. Because since Aleem's gotten paid, he's been on fire. He's been absolutely on fire. And this was a game where, look, let's be real. The left guard, Quentin Nelson's good. And we got some pressures on him, which were really impressive. We showed the one with Reader. But their center, Bordellini, not great. Their right guard, Dalton, not great. Like they have real problems at those two spots. And it was very noticeable coming in like, ooh, we might cook those guys. But you still got to do it. Like you can come in. I remember we came into Seattle, a couple years ago, and it's like, oh, their tackles are terrible, and we did like nothing. Like we didn't beat them at all. When we had bad interior offensive linemen, we notice it, and that's huge. Right? You notice it when they have a weakness. You're like, okay, that's a weakness. Our guys are taking advantage of it. So at least we have that. And then obviously, we shut down Jonathan Taylor. Dude had 35 yards rushing. Fantastic. They had success with like the creativity. Straight rushing to football, Taylor basically did nothing in this game. And we gave up a few big plays, which is who they are offensively, but we never really gave up 2 big plays on the same drive, which is great. We kind of just like found a way to bend, not break after we would give up a big play. We kind of just stalled their drives after that. Red zone defense is still amazing. And then offensively, like once we kind of got the hang for the run game a little bit, we rolled, man. We had some blocks, we had that. They had some plays in the interior. We had a lot of creativity though with our run game. And I think the motions pre-snap, whether it's a jet or, an end around or even just a short motion just to take a guy's eyes for a second so we can go, I think that element's going to be huge because, like Houston where we had them just racing downhill, everybody wants to play us like that. Those little wrinkles are going to help us keep this run game dominant. I think that's going to be huge going forward is that we continue to have those little wrinkles into it because then you're still getting like the other wrinkles in the pass game where lines are going up tempo, no huddle, quick snap. We're just getting up there. There's no cadence. They just snap it immediately. Like we're still getting things like that. So I think overall, man, like we left points out there. They probably left points out there too. But this was this game. In a lot of ways, I think this game kind of summed up what the Lions season has been. This kind of felt like the Lions season as a whole in one game. Sound offense, not perfect, left some things out there, but pretty sound, great run game, golf efficient. And then defensively, Murda's not giving up touchdowns anymore. Teams just don't score touchdowns against us. That's where we got to as a team, is that teams just don't score touchdowns. I'm trying to make sure I didn't have any other notes that I missed on here. I don't think so. I think we hit on everything that we needed to. I love the emergence of J-Mo. J-Mo has been the route tree we're asking him to run. He's emerging in this offense. He's becoming very consistently a very impactful piece. And look, I mean, even the plays that he didn't show, like the extension for Goff, like it's not just the running, right? There was a play in this game where I don't remember, were they in man coverage? I don't remember what it was, but we threw a pass to Patrick, like a deep curl. But the pocket was so good, and the pass protection was really good in this game. For the most part, it was really good in this game. The pocket was really good, so we gave Goff like a massive spot to step into. And he steps up, but he extends the play, and then finds Tim Patrick working back to the football. And I think that's the kind of play where you're like, okay, willing to throw it in the traffic, willing to throw a contested pass there to Tim Patrick. So, you see plays like that. Goff is also, he's opening up the pass lanes more than him just running. He's really opened up like passing opportunities for us. Very different than we've seen a lot this season. And I think a lot of that comes back to pass protection because he felt very comfy back there. Second straight week, a team doesn't blitz a lot, and Goff looks very comfy. You're going to have to start blitzing the lines. You're going to have to start blitzing the lines a lot. A lot if you're going to disrupt that. I think that might be the best play. Okay, I want to make sure I didn't miss anything else. Chat, any major takeaways from this one? Let me make sure. I'm going to check my notes here. We are in sync and it shows. Absolutely. In sync and it shows. No doubt. We look smooth right now. We look smooth. I'm just mad the North keeps winning. That's frustrating. Sitting here rooting for them to lose. They just keep winning football games. Had a couple flags towards the end, but we've been very clean there. Haven't had a lot of flags, so that's good. Hands to the face. Aleem drew the hands to the face. I forgot about that. We had a lot of timely flags. We had a DJ Reader drew a flag. Josh Pascal drew a big timely flag. That was massive. Aleem drew a flag. We had a lot of big timely flags from the defensive line. And actually, the one big run that they had, I didn't show the play, but speaking of Aleem did give up a big run in this game. And Aleem McNeil, they kind of stepped in. This was the DJ Reader one. They went right off of Aleem McNeil's shoulder, and Aleem McNeil got kind of walled up, and it was a huge run for Taylor. He picked up like 24 yards, and it was called back because of DJ Reader, who was trying to work over the gaps, and he drew a holding call. Now, that didn't shut down the drive because then the next play was the Brian Branch play, and then we got the stop after that with, kind of what I showed on the plays. But that was like a huge timely play. It was a huge timely play by DJ Reader. Make sure I don't miss anything else here. We showed the wild burst. Yeah, Branch did get ran over. I did forget about that one. So I guess that does make sense. I'm loving the way Meek Robertson's playing. There was a play early in this game, and that's the thing with Vildor too, is you can also tell that it's there's some of this is also a result of like Vildor gave up. What did he give up? So Vildor gave up the little whip route on a 3rd down and 3. I've seen our all guys do that. I mean, Darren gets beat on slant, so I've seen it. So he got beat on that. I think it was Adonai Mitchell. Then he got beat on the shot play, the L move. He actually wasn't in bad coverage there. It was just an amazing throw. Dropped it on him. I mean, it wasn't perfect coverage. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad coverage. He dropped it on him. And then we had the early one, which he missed high, which is one that I showed, where he kind of like dropped it off to the safety, which was kind of weird. And I think some of that is going to be a result of, let's see if he plays again next week, if we can clean it up fast. Because one thing that I do remember with Vildor is after 1 week of playing, when he had to step in his start for us last year, a lot of the communication breakdowns were kind of gone. And there was a play in this game where they ran a short motion, and they ended up picking up the first down, and Meek made the play. But they ran a short motion. They dragged Amik Robertson. And while he's in motion, Amik Robertson is pointing like, hey, switch this off. I'm going to take it. They snap it. Amik switches off and takes the route that Kendall had. But Kendall also still covered the same guy. So he was basically covering nobody. Now, they didn't go to the second level, and it was still a first down because even though they passed it off and Amik picked it up, he still gave up the first down on the drag. But like little things like that are like, okay, hopefully by next week, a lot of that stuff cleans up. You know what I mean? Hopefully by next week, a lot of that cleans up. And the positive I'll point to is that at very least Kendall Vildor did clean a lot of that up immediately after 1 week last season. Remember going through the L22s? Like the next week, he was on point with a lot of stuff. Isaiah Williams we missed. That's true. Without Khalif. That's a good point. That's a good point. I wonder how serious that one is. Do we have any update on that one? Hopefully that one's not too serious. The positive will be Allen Robinson. I mean, it's a very different style, but may have to give Allen Robinson some looks at times if we just need depth, but it's definitely not the same style. That's a tough one, man. That vertical threat, that's a tough one, man, because those guys you don't just find those dudes, especially with golf and the timing. You don't just find those guys. It was weird though. Like the play calling on this offense was so good, where it was like there was like a play they went to like cover 6, and I know they were on top of their tendencies because they cleared it out with Khalif Raymond. Oh no, they cleared it out with St. Brown, I think, and they ran like the dagger underneath it with Jamison, and Goff put it on. It was a big first down. But you're watching it like, how did they know they were going to that coverage? Like they hadn't ran it to that point, and they went to this, and then bam, it's like boom, boom, first down. It was like, how did they even know that they were going to get to that or anything like that where that was going to be there? It was fantastic. The timing was, I'm telling you guys, it was ridiculous. What are your thoughts on Khalif injury? I think it stings, man. I mean, I'm confident that we'll have, a guy that's going to be able to field punts and St. Brown, but I think it stings. It's like Isaiah doesn't replace it. It just like straight line speed, but body type similar, definitely a lot of quickness. And he had comfortability within this offense more so than just some random guy will have. So I think you just lose the vertical push, and that stinks. Like, even though today he didn't pop necessarily, we tried to get it to him. We tried on the 3rd down. I think it was the cover 4 look. Goff fired it. It was almost picked off, actually. Probably missed it him a little bit outside. And that's kind of the danger with Khalif running a deep curls. He's small. But when you throw that pass and you trust him to beat Womack, which I loved the matchup. That was the thing we circled in on Saturday. Is like, I love the matchup of Womack versus Khalif. But that's the kind of thing that you now miss, is a guy that you do trust in those spots. And Khalif has always been pretty big for us on kind of like the deep curls. Like in the past, especially against zone, Khalif has always kind of showed up in those spots for us. His ability to separate at the top there. So probably just comfortability is the biggest thing, man. That's why Allen Robinson might be the guy that, at some point gets some snaps because he's been here. I think that's what we miss more so than anything. Because at very least, with J-Mo, you're still going to have that vertical presence. Did Mosley play? Mosley did play on special teams, and he made a stop on special. He made a great stop on special teams. So that was like, I saw him throwing the tablet. I don't know if he was or not, but if he was, it was probably about special teams. Watching it back, it was probably about that, because he was out there on special teams, which is good. Getting him ramped up a little bit, that he actually took some snaps, because honestly, it was just like, can he take any snaps? It's good. And, that's typically the Lions' plan. I think last year they just kind of had to go right to him because their cornerback play was so bad. But this year it's like, okay, we got a little bit of patience here. And hopefully maybe it takes 1 week, maybe it takes longer, but just getting him some snaps is a step in the right direction. And all of these guys are producing on special teams. Like, there's been no issues with it. You put these guys on special teams, they're out there producing. It's great. Khalif got grabbed by the neck. It's a neck injury? Oh, dang, I didn't know that. Kendall Ville quieted all the Terrion Arnold haters. That's crazy, Jared. You're crazy, bro. I appreciate you with the 2-piece. That's crazy, though. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's a crazy statement. It's a crazy statement, bro. Like, again, it wasn't good. You definitely know that there's a downgrade when he's in the game. He's a backup. But I'm not going to blast him for it. I think the communication thing's got to dial in. There was 2 of them I didn't like. I think they've got to dial in. I'm okay with the double move. That's fine. As a backup, like, if he's got to make a great throw, you challenge him to make a great throw, that's fine. It's kind of what Vilder's always been. He's never been like a great on-the-ball kind of play. Or, like, he's never been great at making plays on the ball. But typically contest those things vertically. I would also say Khalil Dorsey, when he stepped in, looked pretty good. Khalil Dorsey did look pretty good. And at one point last year, Khalil Dorsey didn't do very well, but he played very well in the preseason. And if you guys remember last year, at one point, they were like, let's go to Dorsey. And they gave Dorsey the look. And I think it started with Denver. And again, he didn't play great. So I'm not saying he would. But with another year, I really am a fan of Dorsey. Maybe they give him some looks. It's very possible. I'm a big fan of Dorsey. Decker, okay. Very crucial division game. The positive is we have the tiebreakers right now over the other teams. I don't know who those teams play this weekend. Can't stand to see Vilder out there guarding Odunze or DJ Moore. I'm honestly not that worried about Odunze. Odunze's trash, to be real with you. No, but hey, he's been trashing that often. But DJ Moore's a dog, though. DJ Moore's a dog. Yeah, we got to get right, man. We got to get right. We got to get healthy, hopefully. But, for them, I think their issue has been timing. Like, they can win. The ball's still not there. Now, I just saw the stat line, though, for Caleb. He did have 340 yards, so he must have been playing pretty well, I guess. And they had that big play to Moore before, to force overtime. They should have won the game. I don't know what they're doing. They should have won the football game. They should have. I don't. But as unfortunate as it is, this is what teams deal with. Like, I'm sure Colts fans are like, man, our offensive line is terrible without our 3 starters in the game. Like I mean, it is what it is. It's awful, and it's not even. But when you look at the Bears, it's like, bro. I mean, the Colts, they're missing 3 starting offensive linemen. They're literally built through their offensive line, and 3 of their starters are not playing. So I'm sure they're frustrated too. As frustrated as you are with Richardson, I don't know how much better you are with that, but it's like, bro, this is who we are, and we literally are getting destroyed at right guard and center, and our left tackle is not even playing. Like, we're in trouble. So, like, hey, everybody's kind of going through it in their own way. Or at least most teams. I mean, look at the Niners today. This was a playoff game for them. And they don't have their quarterback. They don't have their quarterback. I don't know if they have their left tackle. They don't have their best defensive player. It's like, what the heck is going on? The Lions have found ways, and they got to continue to, and it's going to get hard. But you got to just find ways to win with what you got. If it looks ugly, find a way. Someone's got to come through. Someone's got to step up. We're testing that depth for sure. So we'll see how it goes. Green Bay home against Miami, and Minnesota and Minnesota home against Arizona. Ooh, so those are 2 interesting games. So I'm pretty sure Arizona lost today to Seattle, so they're going to need a win. And Miami's been cooking. I mean, my goodness, they've been on one. You know what I mean? Truly sucks, especially having 2. It does. It's very bad. And then we don't get the extra couple days. Really stinks. Like, if we had the extra couple days, it'd be kind of nice if it was back then on Sunday. But then playing Thursday again's really rough. It's tragic, to be honest with you. And, the Packers, they don't have, they haven't had Jair a lot of this season. Evan Williams has been out for them. He was out when we played him. Quay Walker, I don't know if that's the biggest swing piece, but, Quay Walker, they've had guys they've missed too. They had, without Evan Williams, they were kind of forced to rearrange their safety position. I thought that really hurt them at one point this season. So it's unfortunate, but, other teams are probably thinking the same thing about their team. It's just unfortunate. It's not fair. It's not even. It's definitely not even. Everybody's kind of a different spot, and we know, like, injuries mean a lot, because if you're healthy, Niners last year very healthy, and then this year they're not. Last year very healthy in the playoffs. Like, changes everything. It does. But that's where you rely on Brad, bro. You rely on Brad. Free agency signings, these guys are like, who is this guy? And then he has to play. You rely on him to hit those and just be serviceable enough. And then we rely on those depth draft picks that was like, wait, we drafted this guy for a reason. He's here. Like I'm telling you, Broderick down the road is going to be could be very crucial for us at any given moment. It could be very crucial that him winning the player of the week at scout team becomes very necessary because he might need to see the field. And we don't have a guy that's like DJ Reader outside of Broderick Martin. He could become very necessary very fast. So I'm just saying, like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, this is where we're at. This is how everybody's playing at this point. It's how we had to play it last year. we got to rely on Glenn. I mean, we got to rely on Brad and the coaching staff, but because the coaching staff, I mean, they're doing a lot of things creatively that they help themselves. You know, they help themselves, and like we're not putting ourselves in bad positions for pressure. You know, we're not putting ourselves in bad positions, or we're winning the field position. They're helping themselves in a lot of these tough spots, which is great. They're minimizing the other team's strength, but you know, everybody's dealing with this. Yeah, Gibbs was on one in this game. Gibbs can honestly be the player of the game. He was on one in this game. But yeah, man, I think that's everything, man. That was my kind of initial reactions to this one. We'll be back during the week. I know we have a show. Well, we have a show Tuesday. We have our weekly picks Tuesday on Pitch Report. Wednesday, I think I have a midweek show. I don't know what it's going to be, but you guys I'll tune into that. It's at 4 p.m. Eastern time. We'll have just a random topic. I'll have to come up with something that I think is good, and then we'll talk about it. I want to do another video kind of breaking this down, but to be honest, with the short week, maybe I think what I'm going to do is highlight a few plays, post it, bam, just keep it short, and then try to get really quickly onto the Chicago Bears because we haven't played them yet. It's so nice these younger guys got time. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Malcolm playing different spots, helping us a ton. Guys showing position flexibility, changing everything for us. But you're right, man. These young guys getting in there, now we need them. You know, Vildor had a lot of experience last year. We need you. Like, let's go. You know what I mean? It's got to be better. You know, Brandon Joseph has gotten snaps this year if we need him. I just know everybody else is dealing with this too. You know, everybody in their own way is kind of going through it. It's just different for everybody. So yeah, man, 10-1. This is insane. 10-1 is crazy. I mean, regardless of how it happened, this is ridiculous. But great, no separation because everybody else just keeps winning, which is great. My worst picks of the year this week, absolute disaster. I like to see Mosley get snaps too. Hopefully they're in a good spot with him and he's comfortable getting snaps. I know he looks like he wants to be out there. Love to see Mosley get snaps. I think he's one of our most talented corners. Like I wouldn't be shocked if you told me Mosley was our second best corner when healthy this year. Would not be surprised. Be like, yeah, that makes sense. Like I could absolutely buy that being the case. Hopefully that's the case. But that could absolutely be the case. Mosley's a dog. We just got to see him play. It's just been so darn long. I don't know what it's going to look like. And I'm sure when Mosley gets out there, it's going to be some real breakdowns, some what the heck was that in coverage. But, you know, in time, hopefully, you know, it comes together and it's like, all right, he looks pretty good. I'm sure at the first it's gonna look ugly. I'm sure there's going to be some real ugly in there when he first gets in. But I'm still fired up to see it because he's super talented. He's super talented. And then hopefully we get Terry on back. But, yeah, I think we're going to end it here, man. We got Monday Night Football, Eagles-Rams, fired up for that one. And right before we get out of here, just want to make sure I don't miss any updates. We'll give a shout-out, man, BetUS YouTube 150 while everybody's kind of in here. BetUS YouTube 150, that is the code to get that 150% deposit match on that first deposit, 125% on your next two. I'm curious, has the game kicked off yet? We're over here on BetUS. Has the game kicked off? You're 7-4 in pick'em. Oh gosh, you're way better than me. I might have got one game right. Like to be honest, I picked some upsets. They all were wrong. No, game has kicked off. So Philly Rams. I like Rams +3. Give me the Rams, dog. Honestly, I don't even need the +3. Straight up, I'm taking the money line. I think the Rams are winning this game. What does $10 give me? $13.80. Oh, I see. They kind of put the one. I like that. I like that, man. I like the Rams winning this week, man. I feel good. Hopefully I get this one right because I've gotten them all wrong up to this point. I need a couple right. Hopefully get some primetime picks because it's been bad. It's been really bad. Do we really have another Ben Johnson? I don't think there is another Ben Johnson, to be honest, but I don't think he's leaving. You know, I'll keep saying it. Could be wrong. Hopefully I'm right. I don't think he's leaving. I think Ben Johnson is going to not leave. I think Aaron Glenn will leave. I don't think Ben Johnson's going anywhere. I think Ben Johnson is in a good spot. I think he's happy here. And I think it would take an amazing situation to pry him from here. But I think there's a part of Ben. I don't know what he's getting paid. I ain't going to do all that. But I say this, man. Ben Johnson having the offense that he has, right? not having to worry about everything and dysfunction and just kind of planting in with a great defense and a head coach that you really like, that you kind of just found your weird way to becoming the OC behind Anthony Lynn year one. Like, he found a weird way to become the guy here. I don't think he's in a rush to get out. I could be wrong. Hope I'm right. Yeah, I think we hit everything, man. I like the defense first. Yeah, fantastic. Oh, we have the half game. All right, let's watch this. And then we'll get out of here. Buffalo game at home should be a good parlay game. Ooh. Parlay game. That'll be a good one. That'll be a good one, man. Yeah, it's going to be huge. Am I muted? Let me make sure I'm not muted. No, we're not muted. Okay, let's watch this because I haven't seen it yet, and then we'll get out of here, man. Let me know. Put a 1 once this plays if y'all can hear it. Give me a 1.
10. That's 10. That's 9 in a row. How many of you guys have won 9 in a row in here in the NFL? Raise your hand. Yeah, it's saying something. It's rare. All right,
Dang, what? Hey, hold up. Did anybody raise their hand? 9 in a row? Who would have won 9 in a row? I appreciate you, Ken. Who would have won 9 in a row? Somebody from, like, New England? Shoot, New England haven't been that team in a minute. From Kansas City? Ben Neiman? Hey, Ben Neiman? Was he on the team long? I mean, did Ben Neiman win 9 in a row? Ben Neiman might have. He might have.
That's a good job. That got us to 10. That's 10. That's 9
can't really
in a row.
see anybody.
How many of you guys have won 9 in a row in here in the NFL? Raise your hand. Yeah, it's saying something. It's rare. Right?
Dang, he's flexing.
All right,
He's flexing
we're doing
on
something
it.
special, which
He's
we
flexing
knew we
on it.
would.
Stop it.
There are little things to clean up.
There you go, little
all right?
things.
But the most important thing is we found a way to get that W. I want to highlight just a couple of guys here. All right, the first one, man, defense, 8 total tackles. 7 of those were solos. Rodrigo, you played your ass off. Come on.
Ooh. Hey, bro, Rodrigo playing different spots. I'm telling you, man. Rodrigo, flexibility is going to be huge for us. I like that. I mean, I thought he missed like a couple things, but he was playing super aggressive, had some negatives for us.
Appreciate you guys. Let's keep it rolling, and love all y'all.
Good.
His mustache kind of looked like mine.
We
ain't gonna
talked
lie.
about field position was going to be big. Defense,
Field
that's the
position
way
was
to just
huge.
keep them backed up, keep them.
Bro, we said that, bro. As soon as we did our Bleacher Report game, like, it was like, bro, we leaned on field position and we dominated that.
So Lamb, 4 punts, 192 yards.
Oh,
48
look at
yard
you,
average,
the
only
butter.
20, jackpot.
Okay. What? For real? I didn't know that.
When you played on another team, right, or you've coached on another team, it's just always special to come back and get the dub, man. It means a lot.
Yep.
So we're fortunate to have this guy. He's a
Oh, is this Scotty? This is Scotty, right? Scotty Montgomery? Yeah.
asset, assistant head coach, running back coach, Scotty Montgomery.
Hey, and his running backs cooked today.
Favorite team of all time, man. Love you guys. Love you guys. I read
fire.
something this morning, and it was talking about a road, man, being on the road, and it brought me back. Where's golf at? Saint, Soul, Frank, Deck. Oh, it brought me back to we were 2-6 in 2022. We had just beaten
26.
Green Bay at home. We had
Oh.
not won a road game in 2 years. AG, Ben, right? We had not run a road game in like 2 years. So, what are you going to do? You know, now the thing is
Bro, I don't want to say it, but we pretty good on the road this
it's
year.
about road games. Road games. We were 0-11-1. 0-11-1 on the road. 21, half of 22. And then we went to Chicago and got it. We got our first dub in
Bro, that Chicago game was a classic too. Was that the game where like Okuda had the pick 6 and then they scored the touchdown? That game was nuts. That game was fire.
since then we're 16.
Was that TK? Was TK coming through? That was Tom Kennedy?
Got it. We got our first dub, and since then we're 16-5 on the road, man.
Ooh.
And every one of you are a part of that. Every one of you are a part of that. That's big, man. 16-5 on the road. All right.
Good.
So we're road warriors. We're also damn good at home. Good win, man. That's number 10. All right, let's go.
That's 10. That's 10, baby. Win on 3. 1, 2, 3. Win.
Fire. All right. That was fire. Yeah, that was fire. I love those, man. I love those. This is my favorite videos, man. I just wait for them to drop those, to be honest, man. That's what I wait for. We got to get out of here, man. YouTube 150. Shout out to BetUS. Appreciate y'all joining. I'll see you guys on Monday. Check us out. I know my ass about the pick'em. I don't know what my pick'em record is, but it's not that good. It's nowhere near that good. But Tuesday this week, 11 a.m. Eastern, we're making our picks live over there on Bleacher Report. I'll put the link in the community tab. Stay tuned in the community tab. But I will see y'all on Monday. We out! Enjoy the game tonight.